treasure untold. Cyril's got a game ranch, stories unfold. Pala Pala, ritzy joint, glimmer and gold. Stay overnight, don't you stray. Couch cushions hide a rainy day. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey. Antelope roam where the moonlight beams, luxury whispers in velvet dreams. Cyril laughs, but nothing's as it seems. Game of chance or a clever scheme, hidden fortune stitched in the seam. You'll never know till you're caught in the stream. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey.
Cyril the waffle man stands in the haze. His words like syrup in a sticky maze. Leads like a noodle, limp and wet, promises made, but none are met. No backbone, no fight, falling shadows in the night. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan? Spinning circles, no solid stand. South Africa drips, no rudder, no hand. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan? Poverty creeps, it's a thief in the dark. Empty pockets, no spark, no mark. Crime's a beast with 1,000 teeth. It bites, it scars, no sweet relief. No backbone, no fight, falling shadows in the night. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan? Spinning circles, no solid stand. South Africa drifts, no rudder, no hand. Cyril the waffle man, where's the plan?
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hey folks, welcome back to the program. It's Chris live in Central Pennsylvania. That top is a little too high there. I got some yellow under it there, but welcome back as I open up my K-Way shirt. Let's get a sound. Let's see how we're doing over here on the sound. Welcome back to the program. Okay, sounds pretty good. Cyril the Waffle Man, and the Waffle Man will be up soon, very soon for us. Looking forward to that conversation. Not. What about the rest of you guys? Are you looking forward to it? Let me just look and see. We're going to look up SABC, make sure we get the feed. He's scheduled to speak at 7 p.m., which will be shortly, folks. It's just a matter of minutes away, 7 p.m. It is now 6:41. He's never on time, so we'll see what happens. I see the Truth Report is going to cover this. Wow, they have 428 people watching the Truth Report. So who's either? Oh, they didn't invite me. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, sentencing of Malema. When is this? That was old. Okay. Wow. So apparently, I didn't see this. So they are doing something. Okay, never mind. Right. Wow. 428 people currently there. Let's see. Hang on a second here. Who is in there? Let me see who's in there.
Sorry, triple B, double E is not a bad thing, blah, blah, blah. But then on the other side, when he wears the DA hat, he's like, no, we're very much... 5
people there, so including Byron. Interesting. Anyway, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for something else. Looking for the SABC report. Ronaldo's got 1,000 people, and I've got 100 people. Oh, my goodness. Yuta Leerdam. Wow, they got. I think they edited that picture with AI because her breasts weren't that big. Okay, so SABC. We'll get us up for that. Ramaphosa live. There we go. Is it live now? Or, yes, it is live right now. Okay, good. So all the people arriving
from the right. So this is just an ease.
So all the dignitaries arriving here, of course. We don't need that. So how many people are watching this thing on SABC? Currently, SABC has 10,000 watching. Wow, that's pretty good, actually. Got me beat by a long measure. Thank you to 200 people currently here. Appreciate it. Hopefully, a lot of people will come over here at some point or another. We shall see. We shall see if that's the case. Now, I just got to make sure I got the right window here. Yes, I do have the right window, so don't want to confuse things. So let's go and get that up at the moment. All right, so they're doing their ads again. So we'll turn that off. There is Paul Mashatile walking in. That nasty little piece of action right there. Paul Mashatile walking in. Look at how these underprivileged elites can't afford things with their $10,000 dresses. Ridiculous nonsense. SABC wants to advertise its crap, which nobody's watching. But I've got my popcorn, folks. We're ready. Ready with the popcorn here. It's coming up. Got my popcorn bucket out. So I can put my popcorn into my popcorn bucket, just like you get in the movie theaters. So like an evening at Stare Kinnacor, we're going to get started here shortly with this thing. All right, so, yep. Anyway, Rob is on Ronaldo. Wow, okay. Feel the love. Feel the love. Didn't know that. That's probably why there's 1,100 people in there. Let me look and see. Let me look and see what's going on over there. So what's going to happen here? Well, nothing is going to happen here of any use. That's for darn sure. Ronaldo's stream is not even being shown up on my feed. See that? They're suppressing Ronaldo's content. I have to go find it now because it's not there. Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, Rob's on there. I see that. Okay. Yep, I see that. All right. Well, that looks like they're going to keep showing us their crappy, ridiculous adverts. So let me just adjust this screen because we don't need that crap. Hang on a second. We'll do it this way. Firefox. Okay. Well, I guess I can't adjust that till it's on the screen. Let's do it now. We'll do it this way. Get rid of these clowns. We don't need all that crap. There we go. There we go. Now we got it down to level what's actually useful there. So, right, let me get myself up on the screen there. Okay, I don't want all their stupid adverts. And we don't need her. She's no help. Right, let's see what they got to say.
Any delays, then that must be communicated timeously so that we can still reach our objectives.
So as we speak, they already in the air.
Correct.
So just
I should
waiting
hope so.
for the signal. And at what time exactly are we expecting that flyout?
1852.
1852.
Okay, so
We'll check.
basically you say our foes must be ready from 1850.
1852. All right, well, we'll see if they're on time. Now they moved her down there. Okay, there we go. So there you have it, folks. In Cape Town, 6:46 local time, and the South African band is there. So what are we going to talk about? Well, he's going to talk about foot and mouth disease. He's going to talk about renewal and refreshment. No doubt he'll blame Donald Trump for some of his woes. He'll have no answers for the water crisis. He probably mentioned it because he sent a couple ministers up there to deal with it. But why weren't these ministers dealing with this water crisis for ages? Why are they suddenly dealing with it now? Well, of course he'll be late. He was 42 minutes late for Donald Trump. Why would he be on time for the people of South Africa? Why would he not show contempt for the people of South Africa?
Head of state gets accorded a 21 gun salute, and that is actually where the Defense Force offers the ceremonial honors, full ceremonial honors to the head of state. And in this case, our Commander-in-Chief, the President, will be accorded the 21 gun salute. And this is done by the Nelson Mandela Artillery Regiment. They are based
They
here
so
in,
love
in,
pomp
in
and
the Cape.
circumstances.
They have 19 members on there that will be
Such an
on
African
duty doing the
thing,
21
impressed by
gun salute.
glitz and glamour, not by substance.
All right, as we continue then to
Probably the
wait
only
for
orange that's
the
operational.
arrival of President Cyril Ramaphosa. You've seen the Deputy President has arrived inside with his wife, Humile Mashatile, and they are inside now, and the members
There are virtually no
waiting.
whites left in
And,
Defense Forces, that's correct.
Sakina, for you and I, this is also going to be a personally quite happy moment as we're going
There's
to
no whites in
see,
that crowd. There's two
our
coloreds and
Imbongi
an Indian.
tonight
No
in
whites
action.
in that
Ria
band.
Rien.
We are going to see her in action, excited for her community and what this means for her. And it's one of those moments, as we see now, the president is in fact arriving. I'm going to leave it to you, Lieutenant Colonel, to take us through what we're seeing.
Right, so in the
probably
background
every
you'll hear
operational
the oryx
motorcycle in
overhead.
South
That's
Africa.
also a good indication that the president is close by. We've got the motorcade coming into sight now, and we'll anticipate that as soon as they arrive in position, the President of the Republic of South Africa will then have an opportunity to take his place on the podium, and at that point we will then perform those ceremonial duties of showing the ultimate sign of respect.
You know, you're not supposed to bounce up and down like that on a horse. You're supposed to ride with a rhythm. There's no
perhaps
gap
let's
between
talk
your nuts and the
about,
seat.
everyone who's accompanying the president right now.
Such a joke.
In terms
All
of his
those
security
expensive
detail.
$100,000
In terms
cars,
of, yes,
people
your
starving.
part of the ceremony. Let's speak about everyone who's involved in this moment right now, right up until it gets to the podium and, you know, the assistance with the opening of the doors and everything.
Right, so we've got the military police that are busy participating in that motorcade. We've got 28 motorcycles that are
Fake
in
medals.
that formation, ensuring that the president does arrive safely to his
South African forces have
position.
engaged in successful combat operations since the late 1980s.
And Bongi, it's time now to welcome more viewers. And dit is nou waar ons SABC 2 kijkers bij ons aansluit. En welkom en allemaal vanavond hier bij ons ingesluit. En dit is natuurlijk voor vanavondse staatsrede. En julle is net betyds om president Cyril Ramaphosa
There he is.
aansien te vind. En hier kan
Here
jy
he
sien
comes.
die president en sy vrou. En hulle is nou reg agter ons waar ons sit in ons ateljee. En die president en sy vrou gaan nou die rooi tapuit betree. En vandaar kan julle saam met ons kyk na die res van die
Oh, look at those starving poor Africans suffering immensely. Every one of those people except his wife is morbidly obese.
So welcome to those viewers on SABC2. And as I was saying, I'm trying my best Afrikaans here this evening.
It was
well.
your best. It
She's
was
doing okay.
amazing.
And we also have the watch party, as you
Yes, there they are.
glued to the screen. The president and his wife, of course. And good to see her here. She was not here last year, so good to have her in attendance. The First Lady of South Africa, and the President,
Wow,
of
given
course,
a country only to
and
destroy it.
received their bongi
Reminds me of
by the Secretary to Parliament, Mr.
Good
Tolile
Lord,
George.
lady.
Also, the Speaker, she's coming through there, of the National Assembly, Togo Didiza, as well as the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Ms. Rifilwe.
Country falling apart.
And
fleeing from the
right
country,
now,
and he's
of course,
cackling.
as we have been talking about this moment and how critical it is as far as the guard of honor that is
pathetic.
given to the
Absolutely
president as the
pathetic.
commander-in-chief. Essentially, and this is a huge moment as we've been hearing. So perhaps we bring you both in to speak about what happens now, about when it comes to the ceremonial part of everything before the president makes his way inside.
It's 1851.
Yes.
It's looking good.
What we are seeing right now is the warrant officer who is commanding the aid camps. He is just giving the president there a quick brief on what to expect and what is going to happen. From here, the president will start walking towards the entrance of the National Assembly. In front, of course, will be the two aid camps that will be marching at a pace that is set because they must not step faster than what the president can walk. So they set their pace.
Yeah, it's pretty high body mass
and
index you got there.
March the president into the national precinct. Before he marches off into the national precinct, he will go onto the podium, take the national
Play other
salute,
music.
and then they will assist him again, aid him into the National Assembly.
When was Kirsty Coventry crying?
Lieutenant Colonel is watching the clock. I can see
At the
her getting
Olympics?
jittery. She's wondering, no, is this
Military
going to happen
personnel
on
with
time?
I can see the
ponytails.
two-way radio also in
They look all
procession there
serious.
because I can see the communication is happening.
Yeah.
So as you were saying, you were saying the people who are escorting the president, they are
the two aid
aide
Good
camps.
God,
Yes.
how can you get
so
that big?
The pace at which they walk,
Yes.
obviously,
They have no
picking it
shame.
up now.
They're at City Hall.
Yes.
Oh, there it is
Yes.
again, the stupid ads.
So they always need to be a few steps ahead of the president, not too slow and not too fast either. So they've been training this pace for the past few days just to get it right.
They have to train to
Are we still
learn
on
how to
time for the
walk
flag
in the
past?
building.
I think they're on their way.
Pathetic.
They are going to nail it.
As I position myself,
These people are
hoping,
pathetic.
hoping
This is supposed to be
to catch
government.
a glimpse, hoping
That way.
that the moment doesn't pass.
They come.
Those weren't Grippins. Those were Hawk lead-in fighter trainers. They can't even get the Grippins in here. Can't even salute properly. Look at the salutes. Those are Hawk lead-in fighter trainers. They're not the Grippins. Grippins only one's operational. It's pathetic. The collapse of a once proud nation. Why is his hand clasped in a fist? heart instead of open. 7 million was costing Manny. That's a more appropriate look on his face for the somber moment of how he's destroyed this country. It's pathetic. The pretend president with his little toy soldiers. Oh, for God's sake. They're a constant effort to make a bunch of money here. Sorry. SABC, desperate for revenue.
And that is, of course, the military precision that we speak about.
Precision.
So the president now, again, led by the aides to come, and he will now be entering the, I wanted to say the National Assembly, but of course this is a
Yeah, he wants a proud nation run by buffoons.
Houses of Parliament, and so we are scheduled to start at 7. But of course, this is where our praise singer, our little Ibongi, comes in.
Makes a way.
So we are very excited for her, young Ria Rien. And she, of course, will have the opportunity. And
Well, their coverage is
we
pretty
had
lame.
a
It keeps
lovely conversation
sticking
with her
there.
earlier. I'm just trying to remember the language that she, of course, will be speaking.
Who is
in
blocking
this
your
evening,
comments to that?
because-
I didn't see that.
And this is her family, so I am.
You're welcome
our
to talk
family-
about that if you want to. That I
This
have
is
a problem
our
with that.
family.
Our
This is
family.
our family
The excitement.
watching. But her family definitely.
All right, I'm sorry, but that's just mind-numbingly boring. These twits have no concept what they're talking about. Yeah, no, Devet, you're welcome to mention those things. There's no problem with that. Someone shouldn't be giving you a timeout or taking your comments away from that. No, they can't even present arms correctly. What is with SABC and its inability to provide a stream that actually flows? This is ridiculous. Have these green uniforms always been part of the military? I don't recall them. Maybe I just having a mind cramp there. But those were Hawk lead-in fighter trainers. They weren't the Gripens that they spent billions of dollars purchasing. Yeah, the Gripens are not operational, only one operational aircraft. Or 2 aircraft, excuse me, 2 aircraft and 1 qualified pilot. I'm not sure if that guy was colored or white, but this formation is almost exclusively not white. They've completely eliminated white people from the military. Oh, here we go. And Jimo Shaker. You're not banned, Yvette. No one's banned you. I've never seen you banned on my channel. I think you're mistaken. hear it again. Not as good a camera quality.
Order, honorable members. There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer and meditation.
Okay.
Please be seated.
It's very poor quality. I'm going to go back to SABC even though it jumps around.
Honorable members, we will try next time to add just 1 minute so that we can finish the prayers and meditation.
After 30 years, you can't
Would
get it
like
right?
to thank our praise singer, and very importantly, that this year is the 30 years of our Constitution, and she gave the poem honorable in Kuntile language, which recognizes the importance of the Khoi and the San members
So
of
now you care
our
about them.
society.
Now you care about them. Okay, this
Honorable
is SABC.
members, the leaders of our political parties who are here present with us in the gallery, our former heads of state,
not
our
SABC,
former
excuse me.
presiding officers who are here, our First Lady, the judiciary, the premiers of our provinces, the speakers, and all honored guests that have been invited by Parliament to grace this important occasion where we would be listening to the State of the Nation address.
There it is. Got it.
Would like also to acknowledge our members at home, subsection 1, subsection A, to deliver his State of the Nation address to Parliament. I now call on the Honorable the President, His Excellency Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, to address the joint sitting. Honorable President.
Thank you, Ants. Appreciate that. Leon Schreiber, Dean
Honorable
McPherson.
members, may we be seated to allow the President to address the nation. Honorable President.
He knocked over his glass.
Speaker of the National Assembly,
Thank you for the 14 Rand.
Ms. Togo Jidiza, the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Ms. Mifile Mtsweni Tsipani, former President Kgalema Motlanthe, former Chairperson of the NCOP, Mr. Amos Masondo, former Chairperson of the NCOP, Dr. Naledi Pandor, Mayor of Cape Town, Alderman Jordan Hill-Lewis, he was nervous. He thought I wouldn't be able to pronounce his first name because it's wrongly spelled. Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Mlambo, Chairperson of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Khosi
Thank you, Sean.
Thabo Siyakhlulo,
Oh, Chief.
Isithwalandwe, Mayor Sophie de Brain, President of Contralesa, Khoshi Mutupa Mukwena,
This will take a half an hour.
members of Parliament,
Give her Oscar.
premiers of our provinces, fellow South Africans. 70 years ago, thousands of women of all races marched to the Union buildings, their hearts beating with a common purpose. Armed with extraordinary cunning and resolve, these women braved police checkpoints and harassment, In a voice loud and clear, they said, "We shall not rest until we have won for our children their fundamental rights of freedom, justice, and security." We recall the powerful image of Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Sophie de Bruyn, and Rahima Musa, carrying armfuls of petitions to lay at the doorstep of a prime minister who did not dare to meet them. Every petition they handed over carried the weight of justice. Each of the 100,000 signatures they had collected expressed a desire for freedom and equality. For 30 minutes, the 20,000 women stood on the steps of the amphitheater of the Union buildings in silence, not singing, not moving, not speaking. The powerful imagery of these women standing in silence illustrated their resolve and their commitment to bring change about. Their silence reflected the deep emotional pain and frustration born out of systemic apartheid oppression.
Can we hear about water?
Their silence showcased the sorrow and the anger that these women felt in their fight for justice and equality.
What about water, power?
Their silence was long enough
Streets.
to be unsettling to the apartheid officials
Oh, apartheid,
who were
apartheid,
watching
apartheid.
them. In that quiet moment, they showed the world that it is not the shouts of anger, but the stillness of determination that moves mountains. After the silence came the singing of the now eternally famous chant that has gone down in our struggle history, symbolizing the powerful role played by women in the struggle against apartheid. They chanted, "Watinta Bafazi, Watinti Mbogodo." Translated, it means
Even the
you
ANC is
strike
not even applauding.
a woman, you strike a rock. It is said that the women's chant rolled down the terraces of the Union buildings, turning the seat of state power into a stage of protest,
And nothing
where
happened. That was
courage
70 years ago.
meets authority. This evening, we are honored to have amongst us Mam Sophie de Bruyn, one of the leaders that marched and a stalwart of our struggle for freedom. She and many other women who have made enormous sacrifices in our struggle for freedom remind us that women have always been at the forefront of change, ready to stand up, to be counted, to speak out, and never back down in the fight for justice. To mark this anniversary,
Look at those lips of
I'd like
skepticism.
to ask you to rise and give a standing ovation to the women of South Africa who marched on the Union buildings in 1956.
Yep. Good thing I'm not in Parliament because I wouldn't have risen for this stupid spectacle. What a crowd of unqualified idiots.
We may be
Almost
seated.
none of them have common sense. Black, white, or brown, all idiots for the most part.
Mam Sophie de Bruyn, I can see where you are seated. Please stand up so that we can see you. It was 50 years ago, in that same spirit of defiance and struggle, that young people in Soweto walked out of school and marched towards Orlando Stadium to oppose the imposition of Afrikaans as a medium of instruction and the hated system of Bantu education.
And now they're imposing English.
Their courage in the face of a brutally oppressive regime reverberated around the world and brought renewed attention to our struggle. The determination and sacrifices of the youth of 1976 and the generations of young people that would follow continue to inspire us. We thank the young people of 1976.
While you're imposing English,
30 years ago, in 1996, in this very precinct, in the Houses of Parliament, the Constitutional Assembly adopted the text on which our democratic nation is founded. Our Constitution reflects the spirit of those women who marched in 1956.
Oh, so you guys are going to punish me by leaving my stream.
And the young people of 1976. And the many South Africans from all walks of life who fought for our freedom. It is a constitution that reflects the aspirations of the people of South Africa for a nation that is united and at peace, a nation that has thrown off the shackles of oppression and a divided past.
That's what
it
you
is
have
a
today.
constitution that calls on us not only to redress the injustices of the past, but to progressively realize the right of all South Africans to housing, to health, to food, to water, to social security, to education, and to a better and prosperous life for all. Today, we must realize these aspirations in a world that is rapidly changing, a world in which narrow self-interest has replaced the common good, a world in which trade is used as an instrument of cohesion.
It's an attack on America.
A world in which might is right and the powerful impose themselves on the weak. To navigate this new world, we must draw on our strength as a nation. Our strength comes from our values, as articulated in our Constitution. The values of dignity, of equality, of non-racialism, non-sexism, diversity, and of the inherent worth of every person.
None of which you employ.
It comes from our people.
Our
strength comes from our people, from our tolerance, from our generosity, kindness, and solidarity. It comes from our steadfast commitment to upholding the rights and affirming the dignity of people in our society who face prejudice and discrimination, including persons with disabilities and members of the LGBTQIA+ community. Our strength comes from our determination and resolve. It comes from our creativity and inspiration.
What creativity?
As we navigate this new world, we must rely on that strength. The strength that comes from our natural endowments, from the minerals in our earth and the richness of our soil, from the beauty of our mountains
Nobody
and
convinced.
shores.
Not even Gwede
Our
Mantashe.
strength comes from our institutions, which are robust, independent, and from the spirit of democracy and freedom that lives deep within all of us. Our strength and power comes from one another. It comes from what we can achieve when we work together.
This guy's a loser.
Our strength also comes from our respect for one another, even as we may differ on various
South Africans
issues.
cowards, and you're talking about respect.
Our strength also comes from our sporting men and women who continue to lift the South African flag on the world stage and bring glory to our nation. Now, as we reflect on the state of our nation,
Race hustler Gate McKenzie.
we can say that we are stronger today than we were a year ago. Our economy is growing again.
Opposition growing in the benches.
And this growth is gathering pace.
Now the clapping seals will try to override the dissension in the crowd. People are complaining. Look at the white guy.
While
Billy
we have
Ocamp
experienced 4 consecutive quarters of GDP growth, we know that it has to grow much higher and much faster to meet our social and economic challenges. We have achieved 2 consecutive primary budget surpluses. Our credit rating has improved.
It's still junk
Interest
bond.
rates are coming down. And inflation is at its lowest level in 20 years. We are on a clear path of stabilizing our national debt. The rand has strengthened against the dollar. The Johannesburg
Look at Enoch
Stock
Gondwana.
Exchange, the largest stock exchange on the African continent, has performed exceptionally well over the past year.
As half the companies have abandoned the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
This growth reflects broader economic recovery, investor confidence, and increasing interest in South Africa's economy and equities. Our borrowing costs
Volkswagen's
have
leaving.
been declining. Through Operation Vulindlela, we've made significant progress in accelerating economic reform and opening the way for investment competition.
How?
We have brought an end to load shedding
No, you
and
didn't.
built a more dynamic and resilient energy system.
Never should have happened.
We have made progress in improving the performance of our ports and freight rail lines, steadily increasing the volume of goods that we move in and out of our country. We have restored our passenger rail system.
He's living in
More
fantasy
and
world.
more commuters are now able to travel to work on newly locally made trains, significantly reducing their traveling costs.
Who's making these trains in South Africa? Who?
We are investing across our country in roads, in bridges, in rail lines, in ports, in dams,
What bridges
and in
is he driving
solar
across?
farms. We have created over 2.5 million opportunities through the presidential employment stimulus, mainly for young people and women. The expanded works program and community work program continue to offer job opportunities to many throughout the country.
Not
Last
jobs,
year,
job opportunities.
We saw the highest matric pass rate in our history.
Fake
with
rate,
more
fake
than
rate.
2/3. Now, with more than 2/3 of all bachelor passes coming from schools in the most disadvantaged communities.
So you've excluded other
Now,
folks.
as the economy continues to grow, the rate of unemployment must come down. By expanding our social protection system through the SRD grant, we have reduced the number of people living in food poverty. We are strengthening our anti-corruption laws. Our country has been removed from the grey list of financial action task team.
For the moment, it'll be back. He's still financing terrorism and gangsters, money laundering.
We continue to make the progress that was difficult to make in previous years. The work we have done to rebuild key institutions from state capture is showing results.
Which
the South
ones?
African Revenue Service is once again a world-class tax authority.
No, it's not.
The investigating directorate continues with its work and is making progress in the prosecution of those who need to be prosecuted.
Nobody's being prosecuted.
Most importantly,
Hear the opposition?
our democratic system is maturing. Our democratic system is maturing and growing stronger.
How?
The government of national unity, you will love this,
No, we won't.
has shown that it is possible for South Africans to come together from across the political spectrum to work on a common agenda for growth and progress.
What a joke. What a joke.
Last year, we hosted the leaders of the world for a successful G20 summit,
Wasn't a success, it was an embarrassment.
which showcased our country's strength on the global stage. Confidence is rising amongst investors, business people, and consumers. Now, these improvements are the result of a determined effort across government and across society. They show what is possible when we work in unity and we work with unity of purpose. Now we have a unique window of opportunity to translate these gains into sustained growth. Despite this progress, we must be honest about the challenges that we still face.
When will you start being honest? You've lied about
Although we
everything
are
so far.
moving forward, we must not claim any easy victories. We are still far from where we need to be. For too many people, life remains hard. Jobs are scarce and opportunity is out of reach. South Africans are worried about violent crime and corruption. They are concerned at the state of local government and its inability to deliver basic services in many parts of the country. Above all, they are desperate for work and for an income to support their families. We can only be strong when we are equal, when the progress we have made is shared by all South Africans. The Constitution calls on us to work towards a society in which every South African has a fair chance to make a better life for themselves.
So why do you have 145 race-based laws?
In which every child receives a decent education and an opportunity to work and to thrive. A society in which we reclaim our public spaces and meet one another in the streets as equals. In which the state works for the people and the corrupt face consequences.
That's not South Africa.
This State of the Nation address outlines the actions that we have taken since last year and the steps we will take this year to advance the strategic priorities of the Government of National Unity. And these priorities, to remind ourselves, are firstly, to drive inclusive growth and job creation.
By excluding
Secondly,
people.
to reduce poverty and tackle the high cost of living. And thirdly, to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. This evening, we outline the work we must do, work that we must do together to build stronger communities and a stronger nation. We outline the work we must do together to build a South Africa that is more prosperous, more inclusive, and more peaceful, more united, and ultimately more equal. A stronger South Africa must be safe and secure. The cost of crime is measured in lives that are lost.
Exactly,
and futures that are cut short. It is felt also in the sense of fear that permeates our society and in the reluctance of businesses to invest. Children here in the Western Cape are caught in the crossfire of gang wars. People are chased out of their homes by illegal miners in Kagiso, in Gauteng, Bapo Mogale as well. Women are murdered by their partners in their homes. Building sites are shut down by criminals. This must and will change.
No, it won't.
Organized crime is now the most immediate threat to our democracy, our society, and our economic development. Our primary focus this year is on stepping up the fight against organized crime and criminal syndicates.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And we will do so using technology, intelligence, and integrated law enforcement.
None of which you have.
We will tackle organized crime by consolidating intelligence at national level, identifying priority syndicates, and deploying hand-picked multidisciplinary intervention teams focused
Sounds nice,
on
doesn't it?
dismantling criminal networks.
Sounds nice.
To strengthen our fight. Now, to strengthen our fight against gang violence, I will be deploying the South African National Defence Force to support the police.
They can't even feed themselves. Listen to these people who cried about the military being deployed during apartheid. Pointing to 30%, Minister 30%. Give her more responsibility. She can't even control her generals. They're out of control. Cheering for a military to take over the streets. What a bunch of morons.
As I said, I will be deploying the South African National Defence Force to support the police as we did to great effect with illegal mining. I have directed the Minister of Police and the SANDF to develop a technical plan on where our security forces should be deployed within the next few days in the Western Cape and in Gauteng to deal with gang violence and illegal mining. Now, as is required by the Constitution, I will inform the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces
As if that matters.
regarding the timing and place of the deployment of our soldiers and what it will cost. We have to act to rid our country of gang violence. At the same time, we are implementing an integrated strategy to address the root causes of crime through coordinated interventions across society, from street lighting to access to social services.
Ridiculous.
We are going to tackle gun crime by streamlining legislation and regulations on licensing, possessing and trading in firearms and ammunition. We will increase enforcement of existing gun laws. We are putting more boots on the ground through the recruitment this year of 5,500 police officers, adding to the 20,000 new officers we announced previously in the State of the Nation address. We are also addressing the threat posed by the infiltration of illegal and counterfeit goods to South African jobs and industry.
You better talk to your friends in China.
We are establishing a national illicit economy disruption program that brings together key state agencies and other stakeholders,
Justice.
including the private sector. Through the effective use of data analytics, AI, we will be targeting high-risk sectors like tobacco, fuel, alcohol, and other counterfeit products. The hearings of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry and the hearings that are going on in the Haddock Committee here have exposed rampant corruption in the SAPS and some Metro Police departments through the abuse of power. We cannot tolerate this. The rule of law depends on a police service that is ethical, responsive, and rooted in the communities that it serves. The South African Police Service
You used to have that.
has established a task team to ensure that investigations arising from the Madlanga Commission are undertaken swiftly without interference. The State Security Agency will revet the senior management of the South African Police Service and Metro Police Department.
The same people who hacked into my Twitter
The
account,
vetting
we're going to trust them.
process will include lifestyle audits as well. As we have
Previously promised,
successfully
not
done
delivered.
with previous commissions, we will use the recommendations of the Madlanga Commission to make far-reaching changes.
No, you won't.
We are determined that the Commission's findings and recommendations will lay the basis for a fundamental reform of our criminal justice system. We are confident that these efforts will succeed because the great majority of police officers are dedicated to upholding the law and diligently serving the people of South Africa. Now, drawing on the success of Operation Vulindlela in advancing economic reform, we will use a similar approach to establish a hard-hitting new criminal justice reform initiative. This will crack down on organized crime, on illicit firearms and trade, using a dedicated team to ensure that reforms are implemented across the system. We are further intensifying the fight against corruption by strengthening bodies such as the Special Investigating Unit, the National Prosecuting Authority, and the Hawks. We will finalize government's approach to the recommendations of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council on the establishment of a permanent, independent, overarching anti-corruption body. We cannot accept that those who speak out against corruption
Get murdered.
are victimized, targeted, and killed. The Whistleblower Protection Bill will be introduced in Parliament. Among other things, this will criminalize retaliation and provide psychosocial, legal, and financial support to whistleblowers. And there will be a special focus on restructuring our procurement system with a view to ending corruption. The Auditor General reports that the majority of incidents of corruption originate in the procurement system.
Duh.
We cannot allow this cancer to continue, and we must therefore act.
I agree. ANC
Measures
must go.
will be taken.
Cancer must be gone.
Measures that we will take will include the use of technology and the finalization of the new Public Procurement Act regulations by mid-2026. We cannot fight organized criminals by treading softly. We must act with zero tolerance and bring the full force of the law to bear.
There is no full force.
And I'd like this message to be clear. There will be no impunity for acts of criminality and corruption. In addition to crime, water is now the single most important issue for many people in our country, from large cities like Johannesburg to smaller towns like Knysna and rural areas like Guyana. We have all seen the pain that our people have been expressing through demonstrations in various parts of Gauteng. Now, these protests have been fueled by the frustrations that our people are feeling over inadequate, unreliable access to basic services such as water. I have directed the Minister of Water and Sanitation and Deputy, as well as the Minister of Cooperative Governance, to attend to the water shortage problem and engage with our communities.
Engaging with
Now-
communities won't end corruption. Look at the EFF.
I can see you are excited. As we speak,
Order, honorable members. Can we please lessen our voices so that members can hear?
Look at those
the
faces,
message?
man.
Thank you.
as we speak, they are in Gauteng at the moment, engaging with our people, explaining to them precisely how government intends to immediately deal with the challenges that our people are experiencing. They have informed me that the pipes that had been damaged are being repaired and the reservoirs are filling up again.
So why wasn't this done years ago?
Now, this comes from poor planning,
Comes from corruption.
inadequate maintenance of water systems by many of our municipalities.
Oh, we blame
And the
municipalities.
main cause of the problems are now the reason why we are now having empty taps. There is no silver bullet to address this challenge, which has its
Highlands
roots
Water
in
Project Phase 2 and
systemic
3 should have been done
failures
30 years ago.
and many years of neglecting infrastructure. To ensure water security is in the long term, we are building new dams, upgrading existing infrastructure.
Where is the dam going?
We have committed 156 billion rand in public funding for water and sanitation infrastructure over the next 3 years.
That's
The
nothing.
construction of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project and other large-scale projects like the Ntabelanga Dam, part of the Umzimvubu Water Project in the Eastern Cape, is advancing. And we are in the final stages of establishing a national water resource infrastructure agency
Great,
to
controlling water.
effectively manage the country's water infrastructure and mobilize funding for infrastructure.
This is pathetic.
However, the real challenge lies not in the availability of water,
What's the use?
but in getting water to people's taps. The Water Services Amendment Act
People don't pay for it.
bill will enable us to hold water service providers accountable for their performance, and if they don't perform, to be able to withdraw their licenses if they do not deliver.
You already have that authority.
If a municipality is not willing or able to provide a service to its residents, then it must be done by another structure that can do so. Now, these reforms will address the root causes of the water crisis.
No,
In the
the root
short
cause is
term,
ANC.
We need to address the immediate crisis where water outages are being experienced right now. 3 years ago, when we were experiencing daily power cuts, we established the National Energy Crisis Committee to enable a focused national response. We overcame what seemed like an
No, I'm going to correct this liar right here. South Africa overcame the load shedding in large measure. It isn't over, but in large measure because 6 gigawatts of power consumption is now provided by solar panels by people who are private citizens. You reduce consumption to well below 40 megawatts of consumption. This guy is so full of crap, his eyes are brown.
together all existing efforts into a single coordinating body. The Deputy President has been working with a number of water authorities in the country, and we will coordinate all that to make sure that we address this problem. It will deploy technical experts and resources from national government to municipalities facing water challenges. It will ensure that action is taken
Sorry,
swiftly
folks, this is
and
becoming a bit
effectively
much.
to address the problem. To address the challenges effectively, we will not hesitate to use the powers that are enshrined in our Constitution and in the Water Services Act to intervene in municipalities
My sofa,
where necessary.
until
National government
Cyril's got a game ranch, stories untold. Pala Pala, ritzy joint, glimmer and gold. Stay overnight, don't you stray. Couch cushions hide a rainy day. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey.
Many of our cities and towns, water revenue is being used for other purposes, and very little is invested
Antelope roam where the moonlight beams, luxury whispers in velvet dreams. Cyril laughs, but nothing's as it
with the
seems.
commitment that we made last year.
Game of chance or a clever scheme, hidden fortune stitched in the seam. You never know till you're caught in the stream.
Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, his cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, no sir, rainy day. Hey, hey, hey. Where's that buffalo now for my Sudanese businessmen? Brought that money in. Customs, immigration, currency, SARS violations. But he's innocent, says the ANC's parliament. He's an innocent man, just and falsely accused. The president of the republic. Pala Pala. Come on, bring it home, boys. Come on, reggae gentlemen. Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey. Look how convinced they are. They're so believing of his garbage. Look at this. Not one of them. Not one of them believes this garbage. Black, white, or brown. Now they're laughing at him.
Learning from our experience of the past 50 years, we will in the coming months finalize a revised white paper on local government.
We got through the nonsense
This will
about water.
provide solutions for
And
the functioning
75
of
people
an
left.
effective
Oh, the
local
trolls left.
government system. The white paper will reimagine the way that our local government should work. The current system is too complex and fragmented, expecting even small and weak municipalities to take on many responsibilities. We will propose fundamental changes that recognize the reality that some municipalities can take on more functions than others, and that we need a differentiated approach to municipal powers and responsibilities. We're also proposing a more structured cooperation between municipalities and traditional and Khoisan leadership institutions to enable community engagement and shared problem solving. We will ensure that senior officials in local government have the required qualifications and are appointed through an independent process free from political interference. Where municipalities fail, we will strengthen the ability of national government to intervene more quickly and to direct corrective measures in the interest of serving our people better. These changes may be difficult, but they must be done. While these fundamental reforms are underway, we will continue to implement targeted support to improve the delivery of basic services through the presidential working groups on eThekwini and Johannesburg, While we have made progress in stabilizing eThekwini, which has led to investor confidence
People falling
returning,
asleep.
there is much more that needs to be done in Johannesburg to deal with collapsing infrastructure, financial mismanagement,
Of course they can,
and
Sally. They're
electricity
US
and
South
water
African citizens.
interruptions. The same applies to a few other metros in our country as well. There are many committed people with skills and experience working in local government. It is our responsibility to remake, reorganize, and better resource municipalities so that they can continue doing their work. As a country, we're increasingly vulnerable to extreme weather conditions.
Here we go with the green energy.
Just a few weeks ago,
Climate change.
catastrophic flooding in Limpopo and Mpumalanga,
Because people
as well
build
as
in flood
parts of
zones, moron.
KZN, caused the loss of a number of lives and widespread destruction of homes, schools, clinics, and other infrastructure. I visited Guyane, and where there were 16 houses, nicely built houses, as we arrived, it was just an open field.
So why did you build them in a
houses
floodplain?
had been washed away. It was like there were no houses ever before. The foundations, the roofs, and all that had been washed away. The classification of floods as a national disaster has enabled national and provincial government to prioritize funding to address the most pressing needs of the people who are affected. A stronger South Africa depends on a growing economy. For more than 15 years, our economy has experienced low growth. All our actions are now driven by the need for rapid and inclusive economic growth to create more jobs and to create, for that matter, better quality jobs. To give effect to the medium-term development plan, Cabinet has approved a comprehensive implementation plan to drive growth and inclusion. Through this plan, we are working to revive growth by creating conditions for firms or companies to invest by maintaining a clear and stable macroeconomic framework, investing in infrastructure that works, creating a conducive regulatory framework that supports growth and enables competition, and a focused and forward-looking industrial policy. The foundations of this plan is investment, particularly in public infrastructure, as well as labor-intensive growth sectors that are capable of future growth. Now, these include the digital and green economy, where young people will find employment opportunities. Infrastructure is much more than an investment in brick, mortar, concrete, and steel. It is an investment in jobs, in productivity, in growth. For many years, fixed investment has been declining. We are now changing all that. Government has committed more than 1 trillion rand in public investment over 3 years to build and maintain infrastructure. This is the largest allocation of its kind in our country's history, and it will be transformative. It will create jobs. Through the infrastructure fund and the new regulations for public-private partnerships, we are using innovative funding models.
Innovative funding models.
Reducing risk and attracting investors to fast-track projects in energy,
What investors?
water, and transport.
Nobody wants to go to South
and
Africa.
in the digital infrastructure. We launched our first ever infrastructure bond to raise funding for the infrastructure drive that we have embarked upon, which was more than 2 times oversubscribed, showing that when we have put our resolve forward and have put forward innovative ways of raising money, those...
Now, a municipal bond is not an innovative way of raising money. It's a long-established method. It's been around for decades. And the reason why people subscribe to it 2 times oversubscribed, because you have junk bond status and you're paying 12% interest. That's why people bought it. They took the risk that they'll actually get the money back, not because they want it, but because they're desperate for yields. What a clown.
Competitors start taking each other to court, and waiting for the long court process always delays the start of those projects. To prevent undue delays in critical projects, we will establish specialized courts for commercial matters with dedicated judges and dedicated court roles to ensure faster outcomes in matters that have a bearing on the economy and development. This will speed up the development of our infrastructure. This year, we will begin the work to establish a professional state property company to transform the 88,000 buildings and 5 million hectares of land owned by the state into professionally managed engines of growth and development. I see you like this one very much. I will repeat it.
Of course you
Now,
will.
through Operation Vulindlela, we are working to transform the structure of our economy, to fix our infrastructure, and make our electricity, water, and logistics sectors more competitive and more efficient. Having put load shedding behind us,
It's not behind you.
we must now transform our energy system to ensure long-term energy security. For decades, our economy grew on the back of cheap electricity. But then state capture, mismanagement, inadequate maintenance, and inflated mega projects drove up the cost of electricity to businesses and to ordinary citizens. Now, with the far-reaching changes that we are making to the sector, and with our abundant solar and wind resources, we will be able to drive down the cost of electricity.
Abundant. It sounds like you said
Regulatory
abandoned.
changes have enabled a massive and growing pipeline of investment in renewable energy. By 2030, more than 40% of our energy supply will be coming from cheap, clean, renewable energy sources. We are now establishing a level playing field for competition so that we are
Only if you're
never
black.
again exposed to the risk of relying on a single supplier to meet our energy needs. We are restructuring ESCOM and establishing a fully independent state-owned transmission entity, as I have said before. This entity will have ownership and control of transmission assets and be responsible for operating the electricity market. Given the importance of this restructuring for the broader reform of the electricity sector, I have established a dedicated task team under the National Energy Crisis Committee to address the various issues relating to the restructuring process, including clear timeframes for its phased implementation. The Minister of Electricity and Energy, Minister of Finance, and the Minister of the Presidency, and other ministers will all work together to make sure that we come up with clear proposals and
It's getting
timelines
nauseating at this
and
stage.
how this will be phased in terms of implementation. This task team will report to me within 3 months. In addition, we will this year commence the first round of independent transmission projects to enable private investment in expanding our national grid. There has been tremendous interest. There's been tremendous interest in investments in our transmission process. We will work in each province to address transformer overloading, illegal connections, and equipment failure with the objective of eradicating load reduction by next year. We are committed to the path that we have embarked upon to modernize our energy system. We have begun to turn around the performance of our rail system and ports so that our businesses can get their products to global markets. We have now enabled private rail operators to access our network on a concessionary basis, which will now allow different rail companies to compete to move volumes from road to rail. Later this year, we will initiate major public-private partnerships in our port terminals and rail corridors through a concession model that preserves public ownership by the state while mobilizing private investment and expertise.
That's better.
Last month, we concluded a partnership with an international port operator to manage the Durban Pier 2 container terminal, the largest in our country. Pier, you're right. This partnership, something good also comes from your side. This partnership will result in new investment in equipment and infrastructure at the port and will bring it back to world-class standards. We continue preparations for the introduction of high-speed rail in South Africa. I know you love this one. Now I've been saying that we would like this to cover initially routes such as Johannesburg and Musina and eThekwini to Johannesburg. Now, it often takes, high-speed trains are happening in many parts of the world. They've cut down the time of travel, and in my book, it should no longer take 5 to 6 hours to travel from eThekwini or Durban to Johannesburg, 4.5 hours from Johannesburg to Messina, when it can be done in a much shorter space of time. Our people want it, and progress is now being made. Nearly 30 companies indicated their willingness to participate in high-speed rail corridors.
Are they BE certified?
When we put out the request for information last year. We are preparing to send out a request for proposals which will introduce a new era of long-distance rail travel in South Africa at a faster pace.
You can't fix potholes.
We are determined to compete in a rapidly changing global economy. Our industrial policy focuses on areas where we have competitive advantage, where we can create jobs, and where we can drive up exports. Our trade policy is aimed at promoting sustainable development, growth, and strengthening our international partnerships. In a world where countries are looking to diversify their supply chains, we have an opportunity to ramp up our exports across the globe.
How?
We have a diverse economy, high-quality manufacturing facilities,
she's texting,
and strong regulatory frameworks. We are strengthening our capacity for trade negotiations and expanding our missions abroad to drive economic diplomacy. Amid the turmoil in the global economy, we are supporting our established industries in the face of strong headwinds. We have moved to revive our ferrochrome industry and to protect jobs in our steel industry, in our automotive and other sectors which employ hundreds of thousands of South Africans in good quality jobs. Ministers are crunching the numbers on a daily basis, seeking to protect the jobs that could be lost through the decline of these industries that are now facing fierce competition. We are working with businesses and workers to close loopholes in our tariff structure and develop additional measures to protect and grow our manufacturing base. As we protect jobs in vulnerable industries, we remain focused on sectors that will drive future growth. We know that we can create millions of good quality jobs in sectors like agriculture, mining, and services industry, as well as in the green economy.
Pure fantasies, pure fantasy.
These are areas where we can be more than competitive. We can be the best in the world. Our agricultural sector is expanding rapidly. Already we are the second largest exporter of citrus fruit in the world.
There you go. There's Johnny boy.
We are opening new markets for our exports, from citrus to avocados to maize, livestock, grapes, and wine. Through the blended finance scheme, working with the Land Bank and the commercial banks, we have provided 7.8 billion rand in innovative funding for black producers. We will deploy 10,000 new extension officers to support farmers and to improve agricultural productivity. This will give rise to many opportunities for young people to be employed in the agricultural sector. I saw how this works extremely well in Ethiopia, in the agricultural sector, which was really the worst sector. They employed 40,000 or so extension officers who support farmers. And all of a sudden, agriculture has now become the best performing sector in the economy. While the rest of our agriculture is thriving, the cattle industry today is facing one of the worst outbreaks of foot and mouth disease our country has ever experienced.
Now show us, John.
This disease is damaging our economy, resulting in export bans, trade restrictions, and the devastation of herds. We have decided to vaccinate the entire national herd of 14 million cattle. This requires 28 million vaccines over the next few months. The state will facilitate the acquisition of the vaccine centrally to ensure that we get the right vaccine for the particular strain of the virus in South Africa. Like during COVID, many people felt tempted that they wanted to acquire vaccines for themselves. But because we are a regulated economy and country, we wanted everything to be approved by our authority, SAPRA. Similarly, in this case, with cattle vaccines, SAPRA, our authority, will be the one single organization that will give approval. We will work closely with the private sector to enable an efficient rollout, and most importantly, we will ensure that commercial, private, and communal farmers have immediate access to vaccines.
12,000 doses. I'm impressed.
I have established a task team made up of farming organizations, farmer organizations and experts working together with the Minister of Agriculture and his department that will report to me every month about the progress we are making in dealing with the pandemic. Now, why do we do this? We do this because we've got experts. We've got people with great knowledge. We need to mobilize them. We need to bring them to work with government.
Unless they're white.
Because they have the know-how and the wisdom.
Unless they're white.
We have classified foot and mouth disease as a national disaster, and will be mobilizing all necessary capabilities within the state to deal with this crisis. Our services sector, from digital technology to financial services, is growing. Our financial institutions
he's done with
are
foot and
some
mouth.
of the best in the world, and they have the ability to compete in Africa and
No, they
across the
don't.
globe. We are attracting major investment in digital infrastructure with 55 data centers already built.
We've got
and more
55
than
data centers
50
within 10
billion
miles of my house.
investment expected over the next few years. Tourism is a vital driver of economic growth.
Who the hell's that in the
With
suits?
every 13 international tourist arrival, they support one job. Our tourism sector made history last year, recording the arrival of 10.5 million visitors from overseas. We must now promote unique cultural, historical, and natural attractions of our country to reflect our country's identity. This can include traditional festivals, cultural areas in our country, local crafts, historical sites, and natural landscapes across the country in rural areas as well. As we strengthen our criminal justice system,
More
we
popcorn,
will
please.
make areas
I need more
safer
drink.
for
I'll be right back.
tourists
Give me a
to
second here.
visit. In the coming year, we will extend the electronic travel authorization system to all countries that require visas, enabling applications for tourists to be processed digitally within a 24-hour period.
Why not instantaneously?
Now, the biggest opportunity of all lies in the green economy.
No, it doesn't.
We are pivoting
It's the biggest scam.
our economy to be a leading supplier of products which the world will rely on in decades to come.
How? You have no
We are
manufacturing
expanding
base.
support for manufacturing of green products for global markets.
What manufacturing
From
base?
fertilizer to jet fuel, chemicals to steel. From March to this year, we will introduce 150% tax deduction for investment in new energy vehicles.
How do you have
while
150%
supporting the
reduction?
local production of batteries as well.
I'm sorry. How do you have 150% reduction in tax? You can only take 100% away. Are you going to give people money to do something? 150% reduction. You can have 100% reduction to zero, but you can't have 150%.
This is financing large-scale investment in manufacturing, infrastructure, as well as skills. South Africa has become the world's largest reserve of critical minerals.
No, it isn't.
Our ore reserves are valued at more than 40 trillion rand, making mining a sunrise industry. After many years
Thank you.
of declining investment in exploration, we are dedicating funds towards geological mapping and exploration to harness our critical mineral reserves. Just this week, the Industrial Development Corporation announced more than 300 million rand in funding for the Frontier Rare Earths project in the Northern Cape. This has the potential to become one of the largest and lowest cost new producers of minerals that are needed for smartphones, lithium batteries, and other products. Confidence in the future of South African mining was very evident during the mining indaba this week here in Cape Town. New gold, copper, rare earths, platinum, and coal mines are being opened. And black people are players, serious players in this industry now of late. And we are happy about that. At the G20 Leaders Summit in November last year, the G20 countries supported our proposal to expand local beneficiation of critical minerals and the export of finished goods. Critical minerals.
Why do you need us to support that? Do it yourself.
Beneficiation that should take place at the source of extraction. right where the minerals are found. Over the South African investment
that was an
conferences,
improvement.
we were able to raise 1.5 trillion rand in investment commitments. To date, over 600 billion
Thank you, Adran
that
Bonowell.
was committed has flowed into projects. New factories, mines and other facilities are being opened
May I win
each
popcorn?
year. We have now set ourselves a target of raising 2 trillion rand in new investments over the next 5 years. We therefore look forward to hosting the 6th South African Investment Conference on the 31st of March of 2026. To build a more inclusive economy, we are going to back those who create opportunity. If every small and medium business in South Africa could employ one additional person, we would create 3 million new jobs. But many of these businesses, a number of which are owned by women and young people, cannot get funding to start or to grow. Many struggle to find markets for their goods and services.
Because nobody wants her crap.
And nearly all small and medium enterprises have to contend with a multitude of regulations, of bylaws,
That you
of
created.
licensing requirements, and bureaucratic hurdles. We take seriously the public comments on the draft business licensing bill and will ensure that the final bill
lot of
makes
empty
it
seats.
easier, not harder, to start and to run a small business in South Africa.
Could you just wrap up? I got
We will
another
do
briefing to
that.
do.
This year, we will provide more than 2.5 billion in funding to over 180,000 small and medium enterprises,
Black
and
enterprises.
extend a further 1 billion in guarantees. Naturally, we will seek to also focus on women and youth-led businesses
And black.
to foster their empowerment. And we will amend the National Credit Act regulations to make it easier to access credit at a lower cost. The transformation of our economy is necessary to drive sustained growth, to reduce inequality, and correct the injustices of the past. We are undertaking a review to refine, realign, and strengthen our broad-based Black economic empowerment framework to ensure that it supports greater transformation and inclusive growth. Now, all these
They don't even buy it.
actions will create a stronger economy and fix the foundations that were broken. It is a matter of national concern that too many South Africans remain unemployed and too many young people struggle to find their first job. That is why we are rebuilding the economy. We are creating work and livelihood opportunities
get
on
on
a
with it.
scale through public and social employment programs. In places like Standerton in Mpumalanga, the presidential employment stimulus is creating work that matters, turning dumping sites into parks and empty yards into community gardens. The SA Youth Platform has provided millions of young people with access to work and learning opportunities for the first time. The Youth Employment Service, a partnership between business and government, placed over 200,000 young people in year-long work experience opportunities. This year, we will introduce regulatory changes that will make it much easier for businesses to participate in the Youth Employment Service and create jobs for young people. In the coming year, we will expand our public employment programs, including the Community Works Program and the EPWP and the Presidential Employment Stimulus. We will ensure that they are better coordinated, provide income support, skills development, and pathways into longer-term work, particularly for young people and women. To ensure that no one is left behind, we are implementing decisions to increase employment equity targets for persons with disabilities in the public service to 7% by 2030, and to mandate a 7% preferential procurement target across all government and public entities. Above all, however, a strong economy relies on a well-educated, capable, and skilled population. Our focus now is on establishing a firm foundation for learning in the early years of a child's life. We are expanding access to early childhood development through the Banapili mass registration of ECD facilities and an increase in subsidies for ECD learners. By making grade R compulsory, we are getting all our children off to a good start. We are intensifying efforts to fix the basic education system with a focus on early learning, literacy, numeracy, and mother tongue-based bilingual education. Now, we must congratulate the matric class of 2025, which achieved an 88% pass rate.
Fictional pass rate, fictional pass rate.
Now, this is the highest pass rate in our history, reflecting both commitment of the learners and the interventions we have made to improve learning. But we also congratulate them for the sacrifices they themselves have made to get where they are. As we welcome improvements in the also address the high dropout rate in the last few years of schooling. More learners
Thank you, Jean-Bobby Jean. That was an improvement.
To write matric and take subjects like maths and science. That will enable them
if anyone's on the fence after this, exactly.
To enable the youth today to transform our society and secure their future, we are preparing the ground for a skills revolution. We are undertaking a fundamental overhaul of the skills development system to implement a dual training model that integrates education with practical workplace experience. Now, this will enable young people, as they are trained for skills, to be almost certain that they will get jobs once their training has happened. We will
utter nonsense.
We will reform and reduce the number of sector education training authorities, SETAs, to improve governance, strengthen industry participation, raise the quality of training, and better align skills development with the needs of the economy. Now, this includes improving the use of TVET colleges as the primary sites for occupational training and artisan development. To support effective workplace learning, we will increase the proportion of the skills development levy returned to employers, restoring it to its original level of 40%. We will also transform the National Skills Fund into a more agile, outcomes-driven instrument that supports unemployed young people to access workplace experience and employment, building on successful initiatives such as Job Boost. These reforms will ensure that various training programs that we have in government are a door to opportunity, not a dead end. To absorb the increasing number of young people passing matric, we will expand opportunities for young people to enter institutions of higher learning. I have directed the Ministers of Finance and Higher Education to work on a proposal for us to build more universities and TVET colleges for specialized areas of focus.
This is so ridiculous.
An immediate problem is the great shortage. An immediate problem is the great shortage of student accommodation at our institutions of learning. I have also directed the Minister of Higher Education to address this challenge, working together with financial institutions on innovative methods in which government can provide student accommodation. A stronger South Africa is built on strong communities, and strong communities look after their children. More than a quarter of children under 5 years are stunted, increasing their risk of disease and affecting their ability to learn and to grow. Now, this is devastating for children and their families and has an impact on our society as a whole. This year, we will embark on a mission to end child stunting and malnutrition by 2030 and tackle malnutrition amongst young children in line with the national strategy to accelerate action for children.
How you can do it with no beef?
We will focus on the crucial 1,000 days of a child's life, building on existing support such as this Child Support Grant. We will implement targeted interventions to ensure that pregnant women and low birth weight children get the protein and nutrients that they need. This is a massive crisis that demands attention and resources.
It's ridiculous.
Now, the medium-term budget statement
Ridiculous.
that will be presented by the minister later this year will set out a clear allocation for the actions that we need to take. A major contributor to child stunting is excessive alcohol consumption.
No, it's a lack of protein.
Which can affect a child's development during pregnancy. Alcohol abuse leads to violence, leads to road accidents and crime. Now, to address this scourge, we call on provincial governments to strengthen the regulation of alcohol by limiting the density of alcohol outlets, restricting trading hours, and ending the sale of alcohol in large containers. As national government, we propose measures to curb excessive alcohol use, including minimum unit pricing or higher excise duties and greater restrictions on alcohol advertising, which we are consulting with the stakeholders. Now, since it was introduced during COVID-19, the Social Relief of Distress Grant has kept millions of South Africans out of food poverty. As a transformative instrument to improve the lives of the poorest and the most vulnerable people, this grant will be continued into the future. This
Not
year,
much applause to that.
we will redesign the grant to more effectively support livelihoods, skills development, work opportunities, and productive activity.
How?
We know that most of the money provided through the social grants is spent on food and transport. In our cities and towns, most people live far away from workplaces and services. We are remaking our cities and reducing the cost of living for working families by expanding affordable housing and revitalizing commuter rail. We are introducing a new model for housing where people are given subsidies for ownership and rental in areas that are suitable for them. We are shifting from building houses for people to supporting them to build, to buy or to rent their own houses. Yesterday marked the 60th anniversary of the declaration of District 6 here in this city as a wide group area. A couple of 100 meters from here, where we are, more than 60,000 residents,
including whites,
were forcibly removed and relocated to the Cape Flats. The destruction of District 6 is a painful reminder of our shared responsibility to redress the injustices of the past and to build vibrant and cohesive communities. The restitution claim lodged in 1998 affirmed the lawful right of former residents of District 6 and their descendants to come home. That return has required court supervision, detailed planning, and sustained public investment.
and it still has to happen.
Many homes have now been completed and handed over to verified claimants. With 500 million rand allocated to this work, we are proceeding with phase 4 of the construction. The restoration of District 6 is a goal we all seek and a responsibility that we must all shoulder. We are working to build a healthy nation. As part of preparation for the National Health Insurance, we are investing in health facilities, in personnel and systems to improve access to quality care. We will be undertaking substantial investment in health infrastructure, prioritizing the construction
This is going on way too long.
revitalization of our academic hospitals. On a recent visit that I undertook, led by Minister Motsoaledi, to George Mkhari Hospital in Ga-Rankuwa,
Wow.
I witnessed the dire effects of inadequate health infrastructure. Starting with George Mkhari Hospital, we will be working with various public and private financing institutions to finance the building and revitalization of that hospital as well as other healthcare facilities. Now, as a nation, we are finally able to imagine a country without HIV/AIDS.
Please.
In support of our program to prevent and ultimately to eliminate HIV, we will be undertaking a massive rollout of lenacapavir, a 6-monthly injection that has proven highly effective
Who's paying for it?
preventing transmission of HIV.
U.S. isn't paying for it anymore, so who's going to pay for it?
We are also working to end cervical cancer in our country by mobilizing society
cervical cancer.
to ensure that every young girl between the ages of 9 and 15 receives HPV vaccine. Last year we classified.
All right, so I'm sorry to disabuse Ramaphosa of his ignorance, but cervical cancer is not exclusively caused by the human papillomavirus. HPV is something that can lead to cervical cancer, but the reality is that cervical cancer comes from a host of different reasons. You're not going to eliminate cervical cancer by giving preteen girls HPV virus vaccine. You can vaccinate them against human papillomavirus, and that will help prevent cervical cancer. It will help keeping them from getting genital warts, but it will not stop cervical cancer. This guy is dumber than a tree.
And preferential procurement. We will strengthen law enforcement through faster investigation, improved case management, expanded sexual offenses courts, and action against repeat offenders. We will scale up survivor center support, ensuring access to shelters, one-stop service centers, mobile and rural outreach, and the placement of social workers in our police stations.
Who's going to pay for this?
Illegal immigration continues to pose a risk to our security, our stability, and economic progress. We will address this problem while ensuring that the fundamental rights of every person in this country are upheld and protected. This year, we will take additional steps to secure our borders. Funding to strengthen border security will be prioritized, covering infrastructure, technology, and people. Now, key border posts will be redeveloped through public-private partnerships, and we will extend the electronic travel authorization to all international airports and the busiest land ports of entry. We are already using drones and technology to greater effect all along our borderline. The police, home affairs, and labor inspectors will work together to crack down on violations of existing immigration, labor, and other laws. Employers who hire foreign nationals without the required permits or visas will face the full might of the law. Now, to tighten enforcement, we will hire an additional 10,000 labor inspectors this year. As we undertake these interventions, we insist that the laws of our country must be observed by everyone. We will not tolerate violence and acts of lawlessness directed at foreign nationals. No foreign national should be unlawfully barred from accessing public facilities, including health facilities and schools. To build a stronger South Africa, we need an ethical and capable developmental state. A capable state needs committed and honest public servants with the right skills and a deep
You had them,
culture of
and you
service.
kicked them out because they
Over
were
the
white,
past year,
Indian, and colored.
We have passed significant new legislation to professionalize the public service. The Public Service Amendment Bill will protect key appointments from political interference and ensure that capable and qualified people are appointed to senior positions on the basis of their suitability for the job.
If only.
Lifestyle audits have been made mandatory for senior public servants, reaching 93% compliance across departments. We are establishing a central registry for disciplinary cases across all spheres of government. This will prevent people who are facing or have undergone discipline action from being employed elsewhere in the state. We are continuing to improve governance and performance of state-owned enterprises like Eskom, Transnet, Denel, Prasa, and others. This includes the implementation of clear standards of appointment to ensure that the leaders of these entities have the right qualifications and experience. We will continue to work in a phased manner towards a centralized model of managing our SOE portfolio so that we can set standards, improve governance, and ensure financial sustainability to deliver on their mandate.
Can you get some more votes? 138 votes. There's 528 people currently here. Please vote.
Bill
it's anonymous.
Which will be done in this parliament. We will harness digital transformation as a driver of growth, of inclusion and effective service delivery. This year, Home Affairs will launch the digital ID to enable safe and secure use of digital services.
Look at
for
Leon
all
Schreiber
South Africans.
smiling.
We will digitize driver's licenses, matric certificates, and services
158 votes. Keep voting,
at the
folks.
master's office.
160. Keep it going.
Citizens will be able to fill out police statements
170. That's
online,
better.
and eligibility for SASA grants online and be tested remotely. All these
190.
services
Let's get to 200.
will be made
187. How do we go backwards?
by my Mzansi platform.
192,
Soon,
191,
every South
196,
African will be able
199.
to
There you go.
access many
500
of the
people here. We got
services they
199
need
votes. 202.
without having to visit a government office or filling out manual forms.
Kind of like I do here in Pennsylvania.
This year alone, hundreds more bank branches will now offer smart IDs and passport services, decreasing queues and waiting times. We will also work with civil society to ensure that citizens' protections
Please release this.
and rights are safeguarded through this digital revolution. For South Africa to be strong, our continent, Africa, must be at peace and it must prosper.
All right.
To advance the values of our Constitution, to promote our national interest, we seek a world that is sustainable, just, and inclusive. In an increasingly volatile world, South Africa holds firm to the principles that defined our G20 presidency
Oh, gosh.
and underpin our foreign policy, which is solidarity, equality, and sustainability. Now, through our position in the African Union and the Southern African Development Community, SADC, we are advancing regional integration, peace, and stability.
All right, this is just nonsense.
We know that we can.
So half of you, about half of you have
We are
spoken on the
using
poll.
our international relations to support domestic economic priorities, including manufacturing, value addition, and export growth. We are contributing to the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area to expand trade between African countries, to drive industrialization, and to create.
All right, folks, this is just him blathering on about himself and what he's going to do. These are the ramblings of a man who will not be in office for much longer. None of this will come true. Utter nonsense. I will do an analysis of this, probably not today because I've got other stuff going on, but we have a patient family waiting in the wings, a refugee family from South Africa who are Indians, and our first interview with the Indians. They will be anonymous. Give me a couple minutes to switch over. I apologize for those who want to watch this, then go watch it somewhere else. But this guy was supposed to speak for 30 minutes. That was an hour and 38 minutes ago. He was supposed to speak for 30 minutes, and here we are now at 38 minutes, and he shows no signs of stopping this nonsense. People are picking their nose. Look at that guy picking his nose. Look at him picking his nose. Yep, right there on camera. Yep. It's just that's how bored people are. So I mean, that's just the bottom line with this. Sorry, it can't continue. So we have a refugee interview coming up here in just a moment. I rescheduled for 1:30 already. Now I've rescheduled again. So we're not going to keep them waiting any longer. 93% of the people said end this. 269 votes. We're going to do that. Okay. So thank you for those who voted in the poll. Appreciate that. I know he's on screen there. Don't worry about him being stationary. I'm just trying to get the poll results here very quickly. And Ronaldo's probably going to send people over here because I usually go longer. But today I've got an interview, so hopefully they'll come over and they'll see the refugee interview, and we'll get some subscribers as a consequence of it. But apologies for not staying longer, but it's just we cannot do this any longer. It's time to get over to what we're going to say. All right, so thank you all so much for being here. I do appreciate it. One last words from Cyril.
Building on our presidency of the G20,
oh, here we go again.
which all attest to having been very successful.
Not Argentina, not USA.
We continue to advance the priorities of the Global South. Now, these include inclusive growth, debt relief, climate action, reform of global governance institutions, and the beneficiation of critical minerals at source, as we said. Drawing on the work of the
So he says he had a successful G20. Only from a beggar's standpoint, my friend. That's it. Utter nonsense. This is just comical listening to this clown. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna go over to the refugee interview, which will start in just a couple minutes. You'll be automatically redirected there, so don't sweat that if you want to join me in that in just a couple minutes. So thank you for tuning in. My apologies for not going any longer, but an hour and 40 minutes is too much. We've got other things to do, and he's begging for money, so enough of that. Holding people accountable, never going to happen, never going to happen. I see about 100 people left already, so obviously this wasn't about much my program. It's about listening to Ramaphosa. So hopefully I'll see you guys here in a few moments. Thank you all for being here, and they'll be joining me just shortly. So you'll be tuned in there in just a moment. Thank you very much.